Medical practitioners are saving lives and people. Engineers save communities.
Any action which will impact on a significantly disadvantaged individual or community or entire nation.
And it can be something as simple as doing building works for people who need assistance, to turning up and mentoring kids at school who don't understand the opportunities that are there in front of them, particularly in rural communities.
It's about the human condition. It is basic. It's about people's basic needs, food, water, health.
If I asked you what humanitarian engineering was, what would be the first thing that came to mind?
Helping third world countries.
People creating things and designing things for a good cause somewhere.
Building or designing items that help people in impoverished places and help them, have better lives.
To be honest, I've never heard of it before.
Good answer.
This is the first time.
Okay.
I guess, just guessing. It's basically engineering to help people.
How would I define humanitarian? I guess engineering that helps the greater cause, the people, purifying water.
I don't know, maybe try to take into account human factors, impacts on human health or something like that.
Provides an opportunity for engineers across all disciplines to relieve suffering for those in the greatest need.
Projects that are designed specifically around a human need or a community need, like the provision of prosthetic limbs for an individual.
We challenge the validity or the potential to improve yesterday's tomorrow from a basis of understanding, problem solving, and I think that then in the humanitarian space, a lot of good things can happen or will happen.
Struggling to put food on the table for your family is unfortunately a reality for many Canadians, but most of us cannot even imagine the extreme poverty that faces people in other countries. For many people living in developing nations, it is a life and death reality every day. As we first told you earlier this week, A News reporter Louise Hartland had the opportunity to travel to Honduras.
These are the faces of Honduras, innocent children with wide eyes and hearts full of hope. But life can be a struggle for each of them every day. 8 million people call this breathtaking country home, where lush landscapes meet high mountain ranges and vast valleys.
Which one of these countries is Honduras?
That one.
Honduras is in Central America, sandwiched between Guatemala, Nicaragua, and El Salvador. The northern coast lies on the Caribbean Sea. This is the second poorest country in Central America. But behind the curtain of the perfect holiday lies a country in turmoil. Close to 36% of people living here are unemployed or underemployed, leaving millions of people struggling to survive.
The statistics says that we are living with $1 per day. So that means that we don't have that much opportunities to get a job and to make money for the basic needs of the family.
What I earn, it's not enough for me to buy what my kids need.
For many years, the Honduran economy relied heavily on exporting bananas and coffee. Today, more industries are emerging. Factories are abundant in major cities, producing textiles and auto parts. Still, for many families, the wage isn't enough. And while the education system is free, for some, the costs associated with sending a child to school are too high.
I get worried when they have to go to school because you have to provide them with uniforms, books, shoes, everything.
Children are often put to work instead to support their families. The desperation of widespread poverty forces many of the country's deeply religious people to abandon their faith.
There are many neighborhoods and there are many areas in the country which the gangs are the main problem for them, and they are sometimes very afraid of to be killed or to be robbed.
It's really dangerous, especially at night when it's dark. There are no electrical lights.
So dangerous, our Honduran guides didn't want us driving after dark. At night, many of the highways are taken over by gangs. Daylight reveals the beauty of this destitute country. The families, the children, and their promise. Promise to grow, adapt, and learn to better their lives. But the reality is they can't do it alone.
There's obviously a desire to provide that help to the community and a passion, and that's one thing that comes out of engineering is a passion. And if we can introduce that to the community and to the younger people who are thinking of becoming engineers, then we've really got a good plus out of the year.
I hope that engineers who hear of other people's stories are able to get that light bulb moment.
We need more people to be aware of the significance of the impact of their work in bringing improvements to the lives of people in need.
Their peers that are engineers don't ever think that something is unsolvable. And I suppose that's in the humanitarian space, it's the same thing. We can solve anything if we're given the tools.